to the programme.
Coming up tonight, the Army investigates how a North Yorkshire soldier was killed during a live firing training exercise.
Wakefield's Pinderfields Hospital reports an influx of ketamine-related cases, with children as young as 12 taking the drug.
Journey into the future. We travel from Doncaster down to London in a car that needs no driver.
High drama. We're at the stately home, which is fast becoming a favourite with filmmakers.
And head in the clouds. This was this morning's scene above Swaledale. What's tomorrow got in store? Kerry will be here with all the details. First tonight, though, to the tributes to a young army officer based in North Yorkshire who was killed during a live fire training exercise.
Captain Philip Gilbert Muldowney, who was stationed at Allenbrook Barracks in Thirsk, died on Sunday at a military base in Northumberland. He was 25 years old.
As the Army investigates exactly what happened, his commanding officer said that he embraced life with a vigour that inspired others. Katie Cole reports.
Captain Philip Gilbert Muldowney has been described by colleagues as an unforgettable character and rising star within the Army. He was part of 4th Regiment Royal Artillery and died on Sunday following an incident at Otterburn Training Area in Northumberland. It's one of the largest military training areas in the UK. This afternoon, the Deputy Prime Minister paid tribute in the House of Commons.
Mr. Speaker, I know the thoughts of the whole House will also be with the family and loved ones of Captain Philip Gilbert Muldowney of the 4th Regiment Royal Artillery, who died on Sunday. We will never forget the courage, bravery and sacrifice made for our country by British servicemen and women.
Colleagues have also paid tribute to the 25-year-old who was known as Gilbert. His commanding officer said he was an immensely enthusiastic officer who embraced life with a vigour that inspired everyone around him. He led from the front in all that he did, a quality that defined his character. Otterburn Ranges have been used for military training since 1911, and it's sadly not the first time there has been a fatality. In 2016, 24-year-old Private Conor Macpherson from Scotland was shot in the head during a nighttime training exercise when he was mistaken for a target by a soldier behind him. The Army says the circumstances surrounding Captain Muldowney's death on Sunday are being investigated, and it would be inappropriate to comment further at this time. Colleagues say the loss of this outstanding officer is being felt deeply by his unit, his peers, and all who had the privilege of serving and spending time with him. We understand Captain Muldowney grew up in Ireland in County Roscommon, where his family are well known. His father David is a deacon, and this afternoon on social media his diocese paid tribute, saying their thoughts and prayers were with him, his wife, their daughters at the tragic death of their brother and son Gilbert. Captain Muldowney joined the Army 6 years ago and trained at the Royal Military Academy in Sandhurst. He'd served in a number of roles and last year was seriously injured whilst on a commando course. When he returned to duty, he joined 4th Regiment Royal Artillery based at Thirsk in North Yorkshire. He was just 25 years old, and as investigations continue into what happened here on Sunday, those that served alongside him say they will remember him for his determination and humour. They say he was an absolute credit to his family and friends, and their heartfelt condolences are with them at this tragic time.
That was Katie Cole reporting from Northumberland. In other news tonight, a man's been charged with the murder of another man who was killed during a suspected burglary in Wakefield. Conor Batty, who was 26 and from Barnsley, was found dead at a house in the Hemsworth area in September last year. He'd been shot. Adrian Frost, who's 60, is accused of his murder. He is due to appear at Leeds Magistrates Court tomorrow.
A Leeds man has been charged with causing the death of 2 teenagers by dangerous driving 2 years ago. 24-year-old Marcio Domingos of South Farm Road is charged with 2 counts relating to the crash on the Ring Road in Meanwood. 18-year-old Polite Moyo and 19-year-old Maya Eldasuki died, and another teenager was seriously injured.
The government today announced that ketamine won't be reclassified as a Class A drug, despite being linked to a rising number of deaths.
The sedative, which is commonly used as a tranquiliser for horses and cattle, has become popular among younger people. Now, it's relatively cheap, easy to get hold of, and it doesn't cause hangovers.
Well, now hospitals in our region are seeing an influx in young patients with bladder damage caused by ketamine, and shockingly, doctors have told us that children as young as 12 are regularly taking it. Well, earlier I spoke to Dr. Alison Downey, a urologist from Pinderfields Hospital in Wakefield, who says it's being overwhelmed by ketamine cases, and I started by asking just how bad things are.
Well, we've seen a massive influx of cases over the past maybe 4 to 5 years, and they're mostly patients in their kind of early 20s, late teens, with very significant storage problems in their bladder, so passing urine very frequently, blood in their urine, quite a lot of pain, and for some patients they have problems with their kidneys as well that get blocked and need procedures to kind of de-obstruct them. It's becoming more and more of an issue.
Are some of these conditions potentially life-threatening?
Absolutely, yeah. So for a lot of patients, if it affects their kidney function or even their liver function, they can come into with sepsis or very acute renal failure, need acute dialysis. Sometimes patients need drainage bags to drain off their kidneys, so it can be life-threatening, yes.
Why do you think the situation with ketamine got so bad so quickly?
I'm not entirely sure. It is quite geographically diverse, so there are pockets of quite high use across the country. You know, if you go to places like Leeds or Sheffield, our local big cities, they don't have as much of a problem as we do, say in Barnsley or Wakefield, and that is across the country. So I'm really not sure why exactly it's happened like this.
Can you just give me an idea, Alison, of how young the youngest people that you've had to treat have been who've actually been taking this drug?
So the youngest patients I have are about 17 or 18, but they have all started using when they're 12 or 13, and that's quite often what the younger patients are telling me, that's when they're starting to use. So very, very young people with quite debilitating symptoms.
I mean, that's really shocking, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite frightening, both as a doctor and as a parent of a young child, but it does seem to be just very cheap and easy to get, and children just don't seem to be aware of the problems that it can cause, so it does seem to become very popular in that sort of age group.
And what are people actually presenting, you know, when they come to see you? What are they presenting with? What are the sort of symptoms they have? And what are you doing to treat them? I mean, there's some people having to wear nappies, for example, because of this.
Yeah, so most of the time what happens is that ketamine shrinks the bladder down, so it makes it hold, you know, on average about 70 to 80 mils, whereas a normal bladder would hold above 500. And so that results in patients having to pass urine often 15, 20 minutes. The bladder squeeze is very hard, so it's associated with quite a strong urge to pass urine. And in some patients, particularly ladies, that can then cause incontinence. And a lot of my patients do wear incontinence pads or even nappies to try and contain the incontinence. They also have a lot of blood in their urine from the damage to the lining of the bladder wall, and it is an extremely painful condition.
So, knowing what you know about what can happen, what would you say to perhaps a young person who is tempted to start using the drug?
I just don't use it. It might give you a short-term kind of high or nice feeling, but actually the long-term implications on your health can be quite extreme. And you know, you could end up very well in the position where you need to see someone like me and be talking about significant major operations, and you just don't want that.
Gosh, very interesting. That was Dr. Alison Downey, a urologist from Pinderfields Hospital, speaking to Ian a little earlier on.
Yes, very interesting, that subject. Scary as well. Now, self-driving cars may still feel futuristic, more at home in the world of sci-fi films than real life, but they're quickly becoming a reality, and they could have major benefits for people with accessibility needs.
Earlier this week, a Doncaster MP and his wife, who lives with a visual impairment, got the chance to test ride one of the autonomous vehicles ahead of a so-called robo-taxi trial in the UK later this year.
Our political correspondent Fred Dimbleby travelled with Lee and Julie Pitcher, who say the technology could be game-changing.
It's morning and Julie and Lee Pitcher are getting ready for their commute to work. They live in rural Doncaster, and like so many of us, driving is just part of daily life.
How are you feeling then? Are you seriously, are you excited or are you nervous?
No, I'm really excited.
But since 2019, Julie hasn't been able to get behind the wheel because of a degenerative sight condition called retinitis pigmentosa, which means she is now visually impaired.
Having that freedom and, the ability to just sort of drive where you want, and then having that taken away was like a massive blur.
I couldn't cope with what Julie goes through. It's just unbelievably amazing, which is great for the kids to see that as well, because there's always the potential that they could have it. It's a 50-50 chance that both of them could have it. So they need to see a bit of a role model in Julie.
Today's trip down to London is a little different though, and a little more futuristic, because the couple are getting a test ride in a self-driving car.
Yep, all right. Yep.
What was once the realms of science fiction is quickly becoming reality.
Here we go. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is absolutely, this is mental, isn't it? How good is this?
For now, there's a real person in the driving seat, just in case. But the car and its computer are doing all the work.
It's just fascinating that it's actually not being driven.
Could you see yourself getting in one of these over the morning and coming out and going to work?
Yeah.
Would you do that, Jules? Yeah.
The technology, developed by company Wave, uses AI, and they say can be integrated into any vehicle to make it self-driving. In 20 minutes or so, the pair have safely reached Doncaster Station. Time for their review.
That was fabulous. So good.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
It's so smooth, yeah?
Yeah, you can't really feel the difference. You don't really realise it's just autonomous.
It's back to more traditional transport for the journey down to London, a chance to reflect on what this technology could mean for Julie and others with accessibility needs.
I can get my independence back in terms of not reliant on yourself, other members of the family.
It's a total game changer, isn't it, really?
Exactly,
And it just being able to see you being able to get a car on your own, again, would be just awesome.
Julie hasn't let her condition define her. She's learnt how to ski blind and is at home on the slopes. She's also a black belt in Taekwondo and has run a 10K. But it has come with its challenges too.
You don't know what you can't see, so you just end up falling over stuff. For example,
we've always, so stuff like that we've always been really conscious of, even the children. So we can't leave anything on the floors. You can't leave cupboard doors open because inevitably you will walk in at that moment and you'll fall over it, won't you? So there is something about just how the family adjusts to it as well as we go along.
Yeah. I mean, the dog's not very good at it. I keep tripping over him, and he's a big dog.
He'd be a rubbish guide dog.
After pulling into London, Lee and Julie are greeted by another autonomous car to finish off their trip. Later this year, Wave is one of the companies that will take part in robo-taxi pilots in the UK. They're hoping we all get a lot more used to the idea of self-driving vehicles.
How do you reassure people watching at home that these things aren't dangerous?
Last year we had landmark legislation, the Automated Vehicles Act. And what's now happening are the regulations are coming forward that will set out a really high safety threshold for this sector. So you know that anything on the road will meet a very high standard of safety.
Personal self-driving cars may be some time off, but those behind this project hope it shows the technology's potential to change lives like Lee and Julie's. Fred Dimbleby, ITV News.
Incredible,
amazing.
isn't it?
It's a little bit like something you'd see on Tomorrow's World, if you remember that programme.
Yeah, I do, but it's not that far off, because I've got a car that actually changes lanes on the motorway by itself if you put it into a certain mode, and that got a bit of getting used to, I have to say.
You're just fancy pants, though, aren't you?
I'm been mad.
Now then, it's often called a silent killer, and for many women here in Yorkshire, the silence is costing lives.
Yes, despite cardiovascular disease being a leading cause of death for women, new research reveals a staggering lack of awareness. In Yorkshire, a quarter of women surveyed admit they've never had a heart checkup and they have no plans to get one.
Our reporter Amrit Birdie went to Bradford to find out why women's heart health is still being overlooked.
This group of women in Bradford meet to talk about everything, but today the topic is heart health and they'll all be getting tested.
Small prick, 1, 2, 3, scratch. I think it's really important for women to know what their numbers are, whether or not that's blood pressure or cholesterol, because it shows what your risk is. for heart attack and strokes in the future. So what we're trying to do is screen people in a community setting. We were able to do the test in 7 minutes, and it's really easy, it doesn't take a lot of space, and we have a conversation with the women about their lifestyle during that.
Because of their age and ethnicity, this group is at higher risk of cardiovascular disease, also known as CVD. But new research suggests many women of all backgrounds still underestimate the danger. In Yorkshire and the Humber, 71% of women surveyed didn't know that CVD is one of the leading causes of death in women. 46% said they weren't concerned about their own risk, and 27% said they'd never had a heart check and had no plans to get one.
Women are tied up with looking after children, looking after parents, and so particularly at this critical midlife age where women are at the greatest risk from heart disease, they're busy taking care of everybody else and not taking the time to take care of themselves.
You would look for, are you getting any heaviness or chest pain? So a lot of people think it's the pain, but it could also feel like pressure on your chest or across your chest. It could be breathlessness on minimal exertion. Sometimes pain can radiate, so it could go towards your jaw or your arm.
A simple finger prick test means these women will leave here knowing exactly what risks to be aware of. And it's knowing the signs and getting checked that could be key to protecting women's hearts. Amrit Birdie, ITV News.
Some football now, and stand by for one of the best goals you're likely to see for some time from last night's football. Take a look at this. Huddersfield Town's Ryan Ledson spotted the Luton goalkeeper off his line and chanced his arm from inside his own half. The ball flying into the net to give Town a 1-0 win. Other notable results elsewhere. Rotherham won their first game since the start of December. 17-year-old Harry Gray on loan from Leeds, on target in a 2-1 win over Northampton. Owen Bailey scored twice as Doncaster dispatched Leyton Orient 3-0. And Chesterfield scored deep into stoppage time to beat Salford 1-0.
As expected, Sheffield Wednesday legend Barry Bannon has completed his transfer to Championship rivals Millwall. The 36-year-old was in tears as he applauded the fans at the end of his 477th and final game for the Owls last Saturday. He signed for Millwall for an undisclosed fee on an 18-month contract.
Meanwhile, in cricket, Yorkshire have announced the signing of former England all-rounder Moeen Ali on a blast-only contract for the upcoming season. It means that the two-time World Cup winner will only play for the White Rose in the T20 Blast competition, reversing his decision to retire from domestic cricket.
Now to the stately home, hoping to put the Derbyshire Dales on the map for filmmakers after it became the latest set for a Netflix thriller.
Yes, Thornbridge Hall is becoming a magnet for viewers of Harlan Coburn's Runaway, which follows a girl who's been lured in by a cult while her dad, played by James Nesbitt, tries to save her.
Thornbridge Hall and its owner Emma Harrison are worthy of their own TV drama. She first set eyes on the estate on a school trip, and the rest is history.
You first came here as a child, didn't you?
Yeah, when I was about 15, with a fantastic sort of social worker who supported me, and yeah, and guess what? I now live here and I own it, so it's a bit freaky, yeah.
Fitting then that her 20-bedroomed historic home is at the centre of a new Netflix thriller.
They have scouts, have people go around finding the right place. And someone said, oh, Emma, should we let them do it? I went, go on then.
Her home became the base for a cult known as The Shining Light in Harlan Coburn's critically acclaimed series Runaway. It features James Nesbitt as the father of a girl caught up in a mysterious murder plot. It's safe to say Emma didn't know what she was in for.
Trucks everywhere. And then one morning I came out of my bedroom and it was dead silence. I thought, oh. In the middle of a scene, so literally I stood like this on the great gallery up there going, and then I heard the word cut, I went, oh, thank God for that.
Hi. The show was launched on Netflix on New Year's Day, and since then Emma's enjoyed spotting her furniture.
I'm watching the whole series on telly and suddenly, I think it was a dead body laid out on here, and I went, that's my marble table.
Even when your house has 100 acres, scenes like this can still prompt worried phone calls from your neighbours.
People thought we were under siege and in trouble because 10 fully marked up police vehicles came shooting up here, and I thought there was a problem. I didn't know. We weren't told this.
Every thriller, of course, has a plot twist. That came in the form of another filming request, with fugitives from the show Celebrity Hunted asking to hide in Emma's house, all the while this scene was playing out.
The Celebrity Hunted couple who were trying to evade the police were here, hiding. Pure circumstance.
Did they think that was for them?
Yes.
Right.
I didn't know, and then, only at Thornbridge.
Today, tours of the house continue, with new interest from thriller fans.
It's great to see it used, and other people can see it, but I would say come here.
Do you reckon this could become a bit of a hub for filming then?
Oh, yes. You know what, it also gives a buzz for the whole area. You know, it's sort of, we're in the middle of the Peak District, we don't, et cetera, et cetera. Everybody gets a buzz from something like this.
It's hoped the thriller at Thornbridge could set the scene then for a new future of filming. Helen Steele, ITV News.
I'm going to have to look out for it. I started watching the programme, what's it called, Runaway, last night. So, yeah, I'm going to look out for Thornbridge Hall.
Yeah, well worth watching. Your part of the world, really, isn't it, Kira?
Yeah, down the road and around the corner from where I grew up. Yeah, beautiful place.
Lovely.
For sure. Wasn't so beautiful for everybody today, though, was it? But I think for everybody it was definitely better than yesterday's horrible wet and windy and stormy conditions. So we've had a mixture of blue sky and quite gloomy conditions, atmospheric at best, maybe you could call it here in Knaresborough. A big thank you to Michael for the shots. And you can just about make out the sunshine here, just above the houses in Normanton. A big thank you to Machiko Smith, and just about make out the sun there in Burley and Wharfdale. So some places have struggled, but check out this amazing footage by one of our camera operators, Paul Kingston, who went nice and early to the Yorkshire Dales near Swaledale this morning to get these amazing shots of the low clouds sitting in the vales and the valleys. Of course, we had all that rain yesterday, and then the skies cleared and the temperatures dropped. So all of that moisture just sitting in the valley bottoms there. So yeah, atmospheric if you're above it, not necessarily very nice if you're underneath it. But not for everybody, that low cloud today. It was either one or the other, and I had one and the other on the commute to work first thing this morning. This was in Ashover in Derbyshire. A big thank you to Stuart. Amazing blue skies for you, and it stayed there for much of the day. Langsett Reservoir today, but this is also Langsett Reservoir as the sun was saying goodbye. I think we've had our share of the sunshine this week, you guys. Here is the forecast for the next few days.
Today's forecast: seafood and sugar cube towns. TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Yes, drier and calmer for all of us today, and either the blue sky or the low-lying mist and fog. Stubborn to clear, but a big thank you for all your photos, weather photos at itv.com. So over the next few days, often cloudy, stubborn fog in the mix, damp and chilly and still rather grey as we head towards the weekend. This was the story today, much better in terms of cloud breaks across the region as a whole. But yes, where we saw that stubborn fog, slow to clear, and if anything, just thickening as we head through into the evening and overnight tonight. So we stay mostly dry, maybe a few showery outbreaks coming in off the North Sea along that still southeasterly flow, much lighter today, but it will start to pick up as we head towards dawn. But certainly the further west you are, it will be fairly poor visibility overnight tonight and chilly, and certainly a touch of frost right over the Pennines and in well-sheltered rural spots, for example, as we head towards dawn. Very sun times for tomorrow, 7:58 and 4:41. Stubborn fog first thing in the morning, low cloud over the hills. As the winds start to increase, it will push the low cloud just over the hilltops, and elsewhere the cloud base will lift, but still fairly grey across most parts of the region. Still feeling pretty chilly, 5 or 6 at best. And yes, a breeze picking up, nothing as strong as those winds have been earlier on in the week, but still a southeasterly, making it feel really quite chilly as we head through into tomorrow. We've got this spell of rain coming in from the southwest. Could be some wet snow over the hills for a time on Sunday morning. Then there'll be a clearance, and then as we head through into the weekend and beyond, fairly grey and damp and chilly.
TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Grey, damp and chilly, that's not so good, is it? Look at that robin though.
I know, it would have been very happy this morning. A lot better than yesterday for finding its breakfast.
Ah, yes, the early bird catches the worm.
It does indeed.
As they say.
A very nice saying too.
Very nice. That's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow at 6.
Bye-bye.
Bye.